Maderos that terrible day, and she joins me now. Valerie, thank you. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's really important to hear your voice in all of this. And I'd like you to begin with just sharing with the viewers your own experience and what you saw that day.
The day that and I don't call it an accident, it's an incident. The day that the incident happened, I had just gotten off work and I had entered eastbound I-70 from Colfax, and I made it as far as the Denver West Parkway Bridge. And I had just gotten over into the left lane, and I looked up and I saw a truck coming at us he was coming just way too fast. He didn't have his lights on. He didn't have his flashers on. He wasn't honking. He was doing nothing to notify or even let anybody know he was coming. And then all of a sudden there was an explosion and a crash, and there was a big fireball that went everywhere. And it was like a war zone. As soon as the fire receded enough, I jumped out of my car, grabbed my cell phone, and I ran. And we were helping victims. We were all helping each other, as many as we could, either get out of cars, and we all got across. We crossed I-70 to the shoulder, and once over there, I was trying to call 911, but it kept saying that circuits were busy. And while I was trying to dial, I was also taking pictures when a young man approached me and said, "Hey, lady, I need to use your phone. I need to call my friend. I got to get out of here. I'm going to go to jail." And in that conversation, I realized, hey, are you the young man that hit us? And he said yes, but he blamed the accident on the drivers being in the road. And the fact that he said his brakes failed. Well, all he wanted to do was leave. And I told him, where are you going to go? There's nowhere you can go, because there had been another accident further up the road.
What?
And at that point, I told him I was taking pictures of him. And he ran up the embankment, which is pretty steep, and was knocking on cars trying to get away. And I was taking his picture, following him, and I was screaming at people because people came out of the buildings around us to stop him, do not let him leave. He had caused the accident.
I wonder what your reaction is, because as we saw in the testimony in the trial, he has apologized for what happened, and none of us can put ourselves in your shoes or the shoes of the family members who lost their loved ones. I wonder what you make of this new sentencing hearing set for just a few weeks from now, and maybe his 110-year sentence being reduced to potentially as few as 20.
I can tell you that I have been the strongest advocate for the amount of time he does. I have been fighting all along and wanted him to do 50 years. And the reason for that is innocent people don't try to run away. And innocent people don't aim for people in traffic. He had a million options. He could have got off the road. He could have taken, and it wasn't one runoff he passed. It was several that he passed. He could have just got off the road. He did nothing. He chose to hit traffic. He could have even hit the bridge. But he, in his own words and his own testimony, said his best chance at survival was to hit all the cars.
Will you choose to make a statement, Valerie, in the courtroom on that day in January? The judge said today that victims will be allowed to.
Yes, and I wrote a letter to the judge previously asking him to be hard and to be harsh, because, again, I don't think this was an accident in any way, shape, or form. I've always said that something wasn't right about this accident because, like I said, it's not an accident, it's an incident. He could have avoided it and didn't. There are 2 victims that haven't been able to voice, and we haven't heard from their families. And those victims are both men that I knew them or their families. And so I'm fighting for them. And I think that we all deserve justice. I understand that he's young, but he had a choice in this and he didn't do it. Just like those terrorists had a choice when in 9/11. He could have done anything and he didn't. He didn't even try to stop.
He is not on the air with us, obviously, but people can turn to his testimony and what his attorney has said, that he didn't have other options. That is their position, and of course they're welcome.
No, that's he had many options.